Have you ever wondered why good people sometimes face the toughest challenges? Why a lifetime of honesty can feel unrewarded? There's a story I want to share with you. A story that might change the way you think about your own thoughts and choices. It's called The Test of the Three Doors. In a small village, there lived a young man named Arslan. Everyone knew him as the most hardworking and honest person around. He never lied, never cheated, and never harmed a soul. But in the quiet moments, a question echoed in his heart. Why doesn't life reward good people quickly? He felt that his good deeds went unnoticed, and he was growing tired of waiting for his reward. One blistering hot afternoon, as Arslan was walking home from work, he saw an old traveler resting under a large tree. The old man was breathing heavily, clearly exhausted from the heat. As Arslan passed by, the old man whispered, "Son, can you help me? I need to carry this small wooden box to the next village. It's just a short walk. I'll give you a gold coin for your trouble." Arslan, being the kind person he was, agreed instantly. He bent down to lift the box, but as his hands wrapped around it, he was shocked. It felt unbelievably heavy for its small size. "Why is this so heavy?" Arslan asked, curious. The old man just smiled softly and said, "Because it holds something more precious than gold." Arslan's mind began to race. What could be more precious than gold? Jewels? A sacred artifact? But he pushed the thought away, said nothing, and began walking with the heavy box. They hadn't walked for more than a few minutes when the old man called out again, "Son, my legs are weak. I can't keep up. Can you also carry this second box for me? I'll double your reward." 2 gold coins. Arslan hesitated for a second. The first box was already a burden, but his compassion won. He nodded and went back to pick up the second box. As he did, he noticed the old man staring at him, not with gratitude, but with a strange, suspicious look in his eyes. It made Arslan uncomfortable. "Why are you looking at me like that?" Arslan asked. The old man replied, his voice a little colder this time. "It's just, people these days are tempted so easily. I don't know if I can trust you not to run away with my boxes." Arslan felt a sting of hurt. He, Arslan, a thief? The thought was insulting. After all he had done, after a lifetime of honesty, this old man saw him as a potential criminal. He wanted to argue, to defend his honor. But he bit his tongue and simply said, "I won't." He picked up the second box, which was just as heavy as the first, and continued the journey, his steps now heavier with the weight of suspicion. Soon, their path led them into a narrow forest trail. The trees grew thick and tall, blocking out the sun and muffling all sound. It was quiet, empty, and eerily isolated. It was a kind of place where someone could disappear without a single witness. The old man stopped again, for the third time. "I have one last box," he said, pointing to a third, identical wooden box. "This one has real gold coins inside. If you carry this one too, I will give you 3 gold coins when we arrive." Arslan sighed. He was tired, his arms ached, and his spirit was bruised by the old man's distrust. But the promise of 3 gold coins was tempting. It was more money than he'd earned in a month. So, with a deep breath, he agreed. He reached down to lift the third box. And that's when it happened. The moment the wood of the third box touched Arslan's hands, something strange occurred. A thought entered his mind. It wasn't a loud thought. It was a small, quiet whisper, a dangerous one. If I run right now, the thought said, the old man can never catch me. Arslan flinched. Where did that come from? He tried to ignore it, but then another thought followed, a little bolder this time. There must be a great treasure inside these boxes. Why should this suspicious old man have it all? And then came a third thought, the most powerful of all. I've worked so hard my entire life for nothing. Maybe this is my chance. Maybe this is destiny, finally helping me take what I deserve. The thoughts swirled in his mind, growing louder, more convincing. The forest path ahead looked like an escape route. The silence of the woods felt like an invitation. The old man's weakness felt like an opportunity. Arslan took one step forward, away from the old man, then another, and then, suddenly, he broke into a sprint. He ran. He ran faster than he ever had before, clutching the three heavy boxes, his heart pounding against his ribs. He didn't look back. He just ran through the forest, the whispers in his head cheering him on. He didn't stop until he burst through the trees and reached the safety of his own home. He bolted the door, his chest heaving, a mix of fear, guilt, and thrilling excitement coursing through him. His treasure, his reward. Finally, with trembling hands, he placed the first box on the floor and pried it open. Inside, there were only dried leaves. Confused and annoyed, he grabbed the second box. This must be the one, he muttered, opening the lid. Inside, there was only sand, pouring out onto the floor like a cruel joke. Panic began to set in. He turned to the third box, the one the old man said contained real gold. This had to be it. He forced it open, his hope dwindling with every second. Inside were only small, worthless stones. He stared in disbelief, his mind refusing to process the scene. Dried leaves, sand, and stones. What kind of joke is this? He shouted to the empty room. As he pushed the stones aside in frustration, he found a small, folded piece of paper at the bottom. His hands trembled as he picked it up and unfolded it. The note was written in elegant script. It read, I am the guardian of this forest. For the last 10 years, I have been searching for a man of strong character, someone worthy to be entrusted with a hidden treasure and the leadership of my people. You, Arslan, were the closest I ever found. Arslan's blood ran cold. He continued reading, but your mind lost the battle against one small thought. He fell to his knees, the note slipping from his fingers. He had been honest his entire life. He had built a reputation for integrity, piece by piece, day by day. And in one moment of weakness, fueled by one single thought, he had destroyed it all. He picked up the note to read the final, haunting line. A single bad thought can erase a lifetime of goodness. Arslan cried that night, not for the treasure he didn't get, but for the person he had lost. The honest, hard-working man he used to be. He realized a profound and painful truth. You don't fail when life tests you with difficult tasks. You fail the moment your own mind gives you permission to fall. This story teaches us something crucial. Your mind is your strongest ally, but it can also be your greatest enemy. Every day, we face our own three boxes: the box of hardship, the box of suspicion, and the box of temptation. How we react isn't just about our actions. It begins with our thoughts. We have to learn to guard our thoughts, to challenge the whispers of greed, anger, and doubt. Because one wrong thought, if you let it grow, can truly change your destiny. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more content that makes you think. What are your thoughts on this story? Let me know in the comments below. Take care, and remember to guard your mind.